All right, but let's get to the this next topic, which is the first mock draft that we're going to be reacting to, and this is on ESPN.com, man, by ESPN analyst Jordan Reed. Now, I was a little interested in his mock solely because it was a very different approach than what I've been seeing, especially in the early rounds. So to start out in the first round, he took Zion Johnson, the guard from Boston College. Now, Zion is a heck of a player. Moves people, good prototypical size, a true left guard, pass block. I mean, he brings a lot to the table, and he is a legit high pedigree guy, right? We talk about Dotson, we're high on him, but Dotson was a fourth round, if I remember correctly. This pick would be, I mean, I would like it, but to me, my biggest issue with the pick is the other guys who will be passing up on during that time frame. So just to give you a little context, while Jordan has us taking Zion Johnson, like I said, the left guard out of Boston College, and he also says the reasoning behind that is to put Mason Cole as the center.
Yeah, so we can do that and have Dotson starting. I'm completely fine with that. That's why I think this is a stupid pick. Yeah,
but it depends on how you view Dotson, because if you're thinking that Dotson is inconsistent, or if you don't believe that Dotson can be that guy, well, he is going to be a better player than Dotson. Just in terms of right now, that's my only thing.
If you think that. I don't think that. I think Dotson will have a better season than him.
That's fair. That's fair. And why you think that, by the way?
Dude, he was having...
like Dotson,
no, well, I do like Dotson, but at the same time, every time he's played, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think injuries really derailed him last year, but his rookie season, he was showing a lot of flash. We were talking about him being a Pro Bowler in the second season. It just didn't happen that way. I mean, the whole line was bad, and I thought it was Dotson and Trey Turner, I thought were probably our best.
I would agree with that.
Dotson went healthy. So he's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, they said the names were Rashad Coward and BJ Finney. Those are the two when Dotson had went out. That's what, because I was like, I forgot all about Coward. I was like, was he out there? I think he was though, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah. I forgot all about him, man. He just signed somewhere too, man. I forgot. Did he? Goodness. Yeah, I think he did. Like seriously, yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing his name. I was like,
good for him.
All right, keep it going there, baby. Yeah. But some of the guys that were available, like I said, around 20 when he had us taking Zion Johnson, Devin Lloyd went after that. Chris Olave, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, went after that. Devontae Wyatt, the interior D lineman from Georgia. Tyler Lindenbaum, the center out of Iowa that everybody loves. Treylon Burks, the big body receiver from Arkansas. He went after that, along with Kenyon Green, another true guard out of Texas A&M. Travis Jones, the nose tackle or interior D lineman from UConn.
Flying up to the first round now.
I know, right? It was crazy when we first started talking about him. Yeah, when we first started talking, I was he's second guy, second round, he'll be all right. Definitely to moved up. And another receiver that has been mocked to us a couple of times is Jahan Dotson. He was going after us as well. They had him mocked to 30, going to the Chiefs. And then to wrap up the first round, Nakobe Dean was another guy that we would have passed up on. So obviously in the chat, y'all let us know your thoughts on, if we were going Zion Johnson versus some of those other guys that I named, and to give you context, because I was concerned. I was like, you know what? Let me just check the date to see when this mock came out, because we know with the Haskins passing, some mocks were updated.
Right.
This was actually 2 days ago. This was on April 11th. So this does take into account, us not having Dwayne Haskins as well on that roster. But that was the way that he went right there, saying Zion Johnson at 20th overall.
Some more context. Corral, Howe, Ritter, all still available too.
Yeah.
How about these interesting picks though? Did you look at the?
I did. Talk about it.
Beginning of the first round, all the picks before us. Malik Willis went number 2 to the Lions.
Yes, dude. I was like, oh, yeah. Can't say that I like that a lot.
Kenny Pickett 6 to the Panthers. A lot of people are mocking that because of his connection to Matt Rule. Jordan Davis 13 to the Texans, so maybe he goes a little bit higher than we're thinking.
Yeah.
And then Jameson Williams is 1 pick ahead of us to the Saints.
Yeah.
But all those guys that you listed after is another reason why I don't really like this pick.
Where did Hamilton go again in this mock?
I think he was in the top 10. He was like in a normal spot.
Right.
Same with Sauce Gardner. He was in the top 10.
I want to say was he at 6?
And a couple of the receivers went like Drake London.
8. Yeah, he went at 8 to Atlanta. Yeah, no, they went back to back actually. Hamilton went 8 to Atlanta, and then Sauce Gardner went at 9 to the Seahawks.
Yeah. So my main thing too is with Devin Lloyd, Chris Olave. Yeah, you could even throw like Burks or Dotson in there too. Is there an argument Kenyon Green's a better guard than Zion Johnson? I mean, we were talking about him being in the top 15. But anyway, one of the main reasons I don't like this is I feel like we could get a dude like Olave, and I would have said this a couple weeks ago, Devin Lloyd, in terms of them making an impact instantly. Yeah. But I am wondering, as time is starting to distance more and more from the season, is Devin Bush becoming better and better?
You know that's how I go.
What I mean is
exactly, I know exactly what you're saying.
My point is
that's the Mitch Trubisky effect.
My point is
out of sight, out of mind. Oh, I think he's a better player now.
Chris Olave, Devin Lloyd versus Zion Johnson. I think both of those guys could have immediate impact on the team this season. Whereas Zion Johnson, we're just drafting him, I think, to compete with Dotson, right?
I think if
you think he'd be immediate starter,
he would be the starter. Yes.
You think it's a big time upgrade?
I think he would be the immediate starter. Yes. I think the difference is one plays sexy positions and the other one doesn't. And that's why it's like when we talk about the Devin Lloyds, the Chris Olaves, the Nakobe Deans, it's a lot easier to watch them and point and say, oh, this is exciting. Oh, this guy has XXX statistics. I like this guy. He's a way better pick to me. Whereas we always say, O-lineman is not sexy. O-lineman, especially the interior part, we don't talk about them until they play bad. And I think that's the biggest difference when we're comparing Zion Johnson versus some of these other prospects. It's just like, oh, well, why would we want to go there? It's O-line. And we don't care about O-line until what? We're not able to run the ball. We're not able to protect the quarterback. Now we're like, oh, O-line, O-line, O-line. I think that is something that happens, when when we're just talking draft stuff like that, because it's O-line. I mean, I don't even want to watch O-line personally, but that's just how it goes,
But the more and more I think, I don't know how much of an impact Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean would have.
Yeah.
Because as we get further and further from the season, I think we're set on Devin Bush and Miles Jack as our linebacker combo. So maybe those would be wasted picks. Maybe they would be. Maybe this whole draft is a luxury draft for us.
Deke said, I don't know if this is normal, but the further we get away from the season, I'm starting to think Devin won't have bad. I think Devin Bush, I think I draft Devin Bush 10th overall today. Why is that, Deke? What's changed? Well, it's April, I mean, back in December, that's different. We're talking January. It's too fresh. But it's April right now. Just I feel a little better about him. I get it, man. Like I said, that's what we're doing with Trubisky. We do that with a lot of people, man. You just wait, and it's like, you know what? Jameis Winston is another guy, right? He was like, you know what? I think Jameis is the guy. I think he's ready to go. It's like, what happened? Well, he played good for like 5 games, got hurt, but I think it's time. It helped him out. He's ready to go. Just like, all right, man.
I don't know how much of it is my sentiment or if I'm playing off the Steelers and what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to put Miles Jack and Devin Bush and they're slated in as our two guys, then I feel like it would be a waste of a pick, right or not. No, whether you think Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean could step in right now and be better than Devin Bush.
Now, does that change your mindset, though, knowing that this could potentially be Devin Bush's last season here? Because if we don't pick up the 5th-year option,
just having a guy in the wings,
absolutely, because you already have your guy, you already have your stud.
It's not terrible because if Devin Bush does falter a little bit too, what?
Caleb Cole, he's like, the difference is Devin Bush has dreads now. I didn't know.
Does he?
I don't know. I haven't checked it out, but maybe I know he cut off the little one. Maybe he need to grow that back. I don't know.
And then he was rocking the fro a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe go with the baldy.
2 years removed from this ACL, talk yourself into it a little bit. But if that's what the Steelers are going to do.
I'm so glad you brought that part up.
It does feel that way. It feels like we're ready to just roll with Miles Jack and Devin Bush.
Bro. Yes.
So my hopes of getting Devin Lloyd are kind of thwarted right now. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But to your point, if Devin Bush does falter a little bit during the season, you could stick Dean or Lloyd in, and they could be really good replacements and also be the long-term answer.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it wouldn't be a waste of a pick if we do want to have Devin Bush as the slated starter. I think I'd go Olave, though.
Okay.
With us not having that wide receiver 3 right now, I think that would be my pick based off all these guys on the board.
No, I definitely like that. For me, man, I was stuck between Devin Lloyd and Chris Olave as well.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Like, those are my two dudes, man. I didn't even want to touch corner. I thought that we would be good. I could still feel like we can get somebody, later on. But, yeah, if I had to pick,
I'm just telling you.
Olave is more of a need. Olave is more of a need than both of those guys, than Lloyd and Johnson, if we're being real about it. So I could definitely go there.
I just think we're rolling with Devin Bush. I just do.
It's like that. Hey, man, if you believe it, then you know what? You're probably not too far off any day going away. But in the second round, he had us taking Fedarian Mathis, the interior D lineman from Alabama. Dude, 6'4", 310. I like this dude a lot, man. The more I watch him on tape, the more excited I get about him. very fundamentally sound, hand placement, consistent, pad level consistent, the get off, and positional flexibility. He can line up as a 0 or a nose tech, think more Tyson Alualu, but he can also bump out into that 5 tech for the base downs, think more to it and Cam when we're playing our regular 3-4 defense. He gives you some of that, and I also like his lateral movement in the sense of when we talk about Jordan Davis, he's north and south. He's not giving you any looping action in terms of pass rush games. So if he's with a TJ or with the Alex Highsmith and he's rushing to their side, if there's any type of game, he has to be the first one. So it kind of tips that hand. It would be a little bit of a disadvantage for us. Whereas with Federian, he has the flexibility and the versatility to be a looper, to be a guy that can line up inside and wrap around outside. And it just adds a little bit more to the pass rush element. But even though he doesn't have gaudy numbers, you watch him, man, he creates a lot of pressure. He creates movement in the pocket. And that's really how guys like Will Anderson and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name. We're going to bring him up later in the mock drafts today. But how the two ends for Alabama were really thriving in a sense was because of some of the interior pressure that my man Federian was creating and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna lie, I like the second round pick a lot more than I like the first round pick.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of it's predicated on if Tuitt's coming back or not. But I think after the first round pick, if we do take receiver in the first round, I think 2 till the end of the draft, they're kind of all luxury picks then, right?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
They kind of are. It all depends on safety, though.
Very true. But there could be a scenario where we sign our safety after the draft also. That's something else to consider because in the sense of if you are
Matthew.
If you're Tyrann Mathieu.
Or even Edmonds, right, too. It doesn't seem like either of them are in a rush.
Right, because you could be saying to yourself in a sense, okay, if I sign right now, what is the demand for me? Because every team could be saying to themselves, oh, we'll just get one of these guys in the draft. Okay. But say the draft happens and you don't get one of those guys, now their demand goes up because the supply is lower. So that is something to consider with Tyrann Mathieu along with Terrell Edmonds. So I was just thinking about that in the sense of like, man, you don't necessarily have to feel like, we got to get this guy in the draft. We got to get this guy in the draft.
We just know we got to sign someone then afterwards.
Right. It would it would definitely put a lot more of a, the urgency to sign one of these guys afterwards would definitely show up there, because now we're like, hey, we didn't get any of these guys in the draft. We got to up our asking price in a sense, but that is something to consider in terms of why those top name safeties aren't signing. Landon Collins is another one. He hasn't signed just yet. Yeah. All of those guys are really just waiting to see where Mathieu falls, but Mathieu does have that luxury. So if a team that needs a safety doesn't get one in this draft, his number increases.
Yeah, because you got to think. We have 3 solid corners, Miles Jack, Devin Bush, defensive line if Tuitt comes back, Hayward, Alualu, and Tuitt. Minkah Fitzpatrick a free safety. Then it's just that strong safety spot. On offense, we kind of have our line set. You could bring in a guy for competition or depth, whatever it is. Yeah. Outside of that third receiver, what's our big need from round 2 going forward if we take receiver in the first round? It's just all luxury. So that's why I don't really hate this pick. The ones that went after George Pickens, John Mechie. But if you already took a receiver in round 1, you don't really got to mess with that. Chad Muma, Channing Tindall,
come on, man.
Leo Chenal. Like we could take one of those linebackers.
Dub gonna have an issue with us not saying we should be taking Chad Muma right here. All right, that's his guy. We like Chad.
Bernard Raymond at offensive tackle. They have him slipping to the end of the second,
which is crazy because we've seen a lot of mocks where they have him coming to us in the first round, or at least prior to the Chooks move. Yeah, he was getting mine to us a lot, man.
I don't mind that pick at all because there's an argument for him being a good depth guy for us, even if Tuitt comes back, and then being the future. And the same could be said for any of those linebackers that I just mentioned, or Bernard Raymond. It's not terrible. He looks like he could fit our system, too, for all the reasons that you said.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt, man. Now, in the third round, this is where it gets interesting right here. He has us taking Daniel Falele, the big-time, massive-sized right tackle from Minnesota. I ain't gonna lie, he reminds me of like Zach Banner in terms of his stature. Was it 6'9", 390 or 380, something like that? Like, massive dude. Definitely a road grader in terms of run blocking. The pass blocking is where, he has his flaws. But the thing that Jordan said in the sense of why he had a mock to us was because he thought that, hey, man, with us re-signing Chooks and us having Dan Moore, Daniel Falele would get a chance to learn behind them and not have to just be thrown out there. And then by the time he is ready, now you already have him developed. He's ready to go. But to me, he is a right tackle just based on his size alone. I don't know how he would handle space of that left tackle spot, because that is his struggle. When you're talking about the bend and speed rushes, you get a lot of that at that left tackle spot. Right tackle, you can kind of mask it, slide and protection, tight ends. Most offenses are right-handed, so you're going to always have something to account for that. And the quarterback can see that rusher. I just don't think he has that left tackle ability. So you will more so be bringing him in to be, the future Chuk's replacement. Or if you were skeptical about Chuk's with the new deal, hey, maybe in year 2, we might have to get this guy here. If Chuk's goes down, this guy comes out here. I think that's what Daniel would be. I don't see him having any type of that left tackle action right now, though.
Feels like a little bit of a waste of a pick then. Mm-hmm. How would you feel about it?
I mean, like I said, I don't hate it when you're talking about it in that vein of you're getting depth, because right now, who is our backup right tackle? Who is our backup left tackle? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he gives
and he's
you
got
a lot of
upside.
left, but it's like you got the upside. You definitely have the size, because one of the things that we, don't necessarily like about Chukes is like, hey man, when it's time to run the ball, you're not getting a ton of movement. You're good in terms of the pass protection, but with offense, especially right-handed offense like the Steelers have been, you want to be able to run that rock. You usually like a road grader, somebody that creates or generates a lot more movement at the right tackle spot. You even think back to when it was Marcus Gilbert and Al Villanueva. Marcus was a lot thicker, bigger body, whereas Al leaner, taller, could dance with him and stuff like that. That's just what I think of when I think of Daniel. So it's like, yeah, he could have time to learn, and I do like that element. But to me personally, I wouldn't take him in the third, because I just signed Chukes to a deal that's going to pay him roughly $10 million per year. And yeah, if I'm paying him that much and he's not out there, we got bigger issues anyways. So that's kind of like my thought process with him. If I didn't take Devin Lloyd in the first, we talked about guys that would be available in that third. Like, I'm looking to see, okay, is there a linebacker I could bring in there then potentially? You know what I mean?
Well,
or even a corner as well,
Here's who's available. Troy Anderson.
Mm-hmm. I like Troy. That's the elite, like, crazy athlete, former quarterback, running back, turn linebacker from Montana State, man. Yeah.
Brandon Smith went in the 4th round in this mock draft.
Wow.
I don't know how. So he's available in round 3, though.
That's different.
Brian Asamoah, he went in the 4th as well. So there's 3 linebackers right there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really like this. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. But at the same time, if we're not addressing linebacker in those first 2, why not get a guy that has some upside long term for you? If Devin Bush messes up a little bit, you could bring one of those guys in.
Yeah, because like I said, this is what made me surprised with this particular mock, was the fact that it went O-line 2 of the top 3 picks, knowing how much we've spent in free agency on our O-line. I get it. We do got to improve our O-line, like 100%. And I do think we've already done that to an extent. But to me, doing 2 O-line picks in these first 3, I think that's a little bit overkill. And I just don't think we need to do it. You know what I mean?
If it's just one, especially in the first.
Yeah, if I'm taking one in the first,
I don't really like it that much, but at least it's just 1 out of the first 3, not 2 out of the first 3.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. I was like, I just don't like 2 of the first 3 being, offensive linemen.
Right. If this round 3 pick of Daniel Falele came after we went wide receiver linebacker,
that's different. Yeah, night and day. Absolutely.
Sure. I'm completely fine with it. But yeah, some of those linebackers being available, here's a time maybe to start considering safety. You got Nick Cross that was available, Brian Cook from Cincinnati.
Nick Cross, he killed it at the combine out of Maryland. I remember him.
Carson Strong was still available. David Bell out of Purdue. So those are all the notables.
Man, I like Carson Strong there as well. You know what I mean? When we're talking about needing an extra arm, a guy that low risk, high upside type guy. I mean, I do feel like you get that in a sense with a Carson Strong type when you're talking 3rd round. So yeah, that's definitely interesting though. All right. In the 4th round, I do like this part of when we keep researching all these players, we get a lot of like overlaps.
Right.
Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor.
He went up to the 4th round. He was undrafted when we were talking about him.
Think about that, bro. At one point, he wasn't even on PFF's website, if I remember correctly. He was not up there.
I tried drafting him, yeah.
Dude, this is nuts. Now he's up here as a 4th rounder, man. Speed kills, man. The 4.28 on the laser at the combine will do that to you. But I like that pick right there. I'm the 4th just because, number one, we know what? We need a receiver. And in this particular mock, he doesn't have us taking a receiver in those first 3 rounds. And we do happen to have a hole. And we also want a take the top off the defense type of guy, speed type of receiver, and Tyquan definitely gives you that. I think he's still a little bit limited and raw in his route running, but as a whole, he was still productive at Baylor. And with that type of speed, man, you can make it work. You can figure out some stuff for him.
Yeah, it's nice having one of these later picks at least be a guy that you know.
Yeah. I felt real good about that. I was like, oh, didn't have to look him up. We're good. Let's go.
I just don't know about the timing though. If he's coming in as our third guy, or him and Anthony Miller and like Cody White are competing as our third guy. I don't know if that's good. I would have wished maybe we took a guy in the first 3 rounds at least.
Fair enough, but Cody White, Anthony Miller, are they 4.28 on the laser?
They're not. No, I'd like to have him on the roster. Thing, I would just rather have someone a little bit more certain in that third spot.
Oh, okay.
This is like a house money pick for us.
Got you. See, because I look at it like, man, worst case, man, you're just a vertical. You're Mike Wallace. Worst case. But
I'd say worst case, probably like Hayward Bay, though. Mike Wallace was pretty good.
Fair enough. Okay, I can see that then. Hayward Bay once he came to Pittsburgh, not Oakland Hayward Bay.
Yeah, because he had some good seasons with the Colts. Yeah. And he had 1 or 2 good seasons with the Raiders.
Yeah. But it was like, we felt like when he got here, like he did some nice things. He was more well-rounded, special teams on stuff. So, okay, worst case. But then he's like, what round was Mike Wallace drafted in, though?
He was 3rd. Dude, he was good. He had a couple 1,000-yard years.
But I'm like, Hayward Bay was a top 5 pick, if I remember correctly.
He shouldn't have been picked there.
He was still a top 5 pick. I can't say Tyquan is over there.
I think it was 7.
It's like, bro, he won't there. You know what I mean? Like, like that's all I'm saying, bro. Like Hayward was like there. He was like, you know what I mean? You put him with Jamarcus. Yeah. I love Hayward. That's my dude. But it's just different, you know? Yeah, but okay, so worst case.
I'd say Wallace is like a best case scenario for him in a way.
You think that's best case?
Yeah, I mean, Wallace had a good NFL career. He really did.
You don't think he could be better than that though?
He could, obviously. Yeah. If I had to bet money, I'd say no.
Fair enough.
He could. Obviously, he could. But if I had to bet money, I'd say no.
Okay.
I think Wallace had a good career, man.
He did. I mean, listen, Wallace, they when I got to Pittsburgh, because obviously I wasn't here with him, they would always say, oh, man, he's a one-trick pony, but he's really good at that one trick. And I was like, you know what? I respect the heck out of it. And we got a chance to see that one trick when he was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And he went 97 or 90 something on us. It was like, Lord, what? He just ran straight the whole time? Like, Lord have mercy. Yeah.
We should have tried to bring him back. Yeah. I'm pissed we didn't bring him back in those later stages. Because, he pulled out that 1,000-yard season with the Ravens. Mm-hmm. And we could have had him on the cheap.
Yeah.
He'd been a nice compliment to our core at the time.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. But that's what we went in the 4th. Now, this is where, the end part of the draft where it's kind of like, all right, let's see what we getting here, man. What type of guys we looking at here? There's just some
names, dude.
He went in the 6th round, Elias Brooks, the inside linebacker for Penn State. I like Elias. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, man, when you're watching the later portion of the draft, it's like you see the productivity, but they're limited in something. So for me, Elias, I just think that, he's not the best athlete in terms of playing in space, in terms of having like that burst that you want at the pro level. But if you're talking about depth and special teams value, I definitely could see that there with Elias. So I was like, you know what? If that's where we're at this part of the draft and that's the guy you're taking in the 6th round, I can still respect. I see the mindset with it.
Well, he didn't address linebacker at any other point in the draft.
Yeah, but I don't.
So I think this is a little too late.
Yeah, well, but this is my other thing is even with this being a little bit later, I still kind of feel like it's overkill in the sense of for what we're getting in the 6th round. What is making him different than Robert Spillane and Buddy Johnson?
Oh, 100%.
Because to me, Buddy Johnson, a 4th round pick from a year ago, Elias is not beating him. I would hope he wouldn't beat him out, So like that's kind of my mindset. Then it's like,
fair. Yeah, if you're gonna take linebackers, take him in the top 3.
Exactly.
So they could be competition for Bush.
Yes, Alice. If you're not competition for Bush, I already have depth. I already have that in a sense right there in that position, man. Yep, and then after that, the 2 7th round picks. Got to have a bloodline. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa. And yes, he is the younger cousin to Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, indeed, man. I was like, interesting. Okay, so you get the pedigree right there.
Edge out of Notre Dame.
Absolutely. In Notre Dame. You know how that goes. Got to have a Notre Dame guy, man. So I definitely like that. I was like, I don't like it. If we're being real about it, I know he's a edge guy, but to me, I think he's more of a 4-3 DN. I don't think he's big enough to necessarily play the 5 tech in our 3-4, and I definitely don't want to stand him up. I don't think he's going to be athletic enough to do that. But the final 7th round pick, I was a little bit more intrigued about, but I wonder if this guy's playing out of position. It's Kyler McMichael, the corner out of UNC. He's playing outside corner, but he's built like a safety. 6 foot 210, looks like a safety, but he was playing on the outside. So I do like the coverage element of him. But to me, I don't think he's going to survive as a corner in the NFL just based on like how he moved, like his hips and stuff. But I do think if you were to bump him in as a safety, I think that could be a little bit more intriguing because of how well he can cover And now you're talking about him having nice size. I would have to see how physical he could be in terms of like being in that box and stuff like that. But I do think his body definitely translates more to the safety type than, playing outside corner here.
Yeah, not a bad pick if that's the case. It's almost like what we were doing with Trey Norwood last year. Mm-hmm. And if he's got better size, sure, why not? Yeah, anything 6 and up, it's just
versatility dude. Yeah,
anything 6 and up, you're just hoping. All right, could they make the roster?
Oh, damn, chill, bro. Like this. See, Deke, I thought we was gonna get through this show, and we won't have any type of ill will. We're not gonna have any type of harsh words to say to you, Deke. But
yeah, I guess we should be taking 6 rounders for granted.
There happens to be 6 rounders in Pittsburgh that have had very nice careers. Okay,
you're right.
Antonio Brown, Vince Williams. Arthur Moats, us 6 rounders, we like to, we keep it going. 6 rounders are very important. You heard of Tom Brady, Dagon? Have you heard of him? The greatest quarterback to ever step into the NFL, that guy? 6th round, okay? Not a 1st rounder, 6th rounder. That's all I'm saying, man.
You're right.
Stop disrespecting the 6th round, man. You get great. All of the best players are in the 6th round. Just throwing it out. You got the number 1 quarterback, the number 1, arguably the number 1 receiver or debatable receiver in there as well. I'm just throwing it out there, man. Okay.
Did you see AB's new offer or Floyd Mayweather's offer? I did see Mayweather.
Yeah, $20 million if he lasts the whole season. If he doesn't, they pay the team $20 million. But if he does, y'all got to pay him $20 million. I did see that. I definitely saw that, man. How you feel about that? Are you taking that deal?
It shouldn't have got to that point. I don't even know how that would work accounting wise. That sounds like really shady.
I say, is this on the cap? Does this count for the books or not on the books? Hey, AB, look, we got some cap situations. I know it's the last week of the season. Act crazy. We'll take care in the offseason.
Are you just giving the owner of the team $20 million under the table?
I have no clue how that
and the
deal is
NFL
supposed
just
to work,
going to be
bro.
Cool with that?
Yeah, I have no clue how that deal is supposed to work.
Oh, yeah, AB didn't last.
Yeah.
After week 4, Floyd Mayweather gives
just
an owner $20 million. Oh, it's just cool. Yeah.
Don't worry. Hey, I got us. When I saw it, I'm like, I don't necessarily know how that's supposed to work out. And if I'm a team, maybe Washington, maybe the Washington Commanders will do the deal. Like I said, they got funny money over there. Whatever's going on in their house, they are a little janky. So maybe you call up Snyder, be like, yo, look, man, this money Mayweather, it's me. I got $20 million for the boy AB. What's up, man? Make it happen.
It's a terrible deal for any team.
I would agree.
AB went back to the Bucs last year on really good terms, coming off the Super Bowl and everything for what, $5 million or something? Now he's an off-season removed, taking his shoulder pads off. We all know the whole Jets debacle.
Yep.
And he's a year older. Why is a team going to pay him $20 million? I still think he's really good. I still think if you get him out there, he's going to be a top 10 receiver. But there's no reason for a team to pay him more than $5. I would guess.
Yeah, I'm not taking that. I was surprised by you, actually. I didn't know where your energy was going to be.
I still want him
because
to play.
It's AB. I didn't know if you was going to be like, take the $20 million deal, Pittsburgh, call him up. That's
20 is a lot right now for AB.
I would definitely agree on that.
Probably not for the production you would get from him if he's healthy and he's out on the field for a whole season, but
that's a big but.
The risk is all the off the field type of stuff.
You know how we say low risk, high reward? This is high risk, high reward, maybe.
You're going to get rewarded.
In some capacity, sure. Or not. That's a lot though, man.
Yeah. 20 million is too much.
20 is a lot for AB right now, man.
Bring AB back for $5 million? Come on, different story.
If we're talking 5, that's night and day. But he ain't asked for 5. That boy said 20. That's different. 20, that's what we was talking about. What we're going to pay Deontay. You said Deontay could be in that range, right? 15 to 20, just based on the market. Christian Kirk got paid around that range.
AB should be getting paid more than those guys, just based off strict production.
He should. But unfortunately, we haven't had that because it hasn't been linear in terms of how he's been rocking and operating and stuff like that, man.
He had 30 guaranteed to the Raiders. He just literally had to stay on the team one more day, right? 2 more days?
That was it. He said he wanted to shoot the video. I'm free. I was like, bro, this ain't Amistad, baby. You got to chill now. Come on now. Yeah. But that was just, my thought process on it. But, everyone's different. Everyone is different.
What do we give this guy's grade on the mock draft? I'm going probably C+. I didn't like it.
See, you were going to say C+. I was going to say a B because I don't do the B-, B+. I was like, I think it's like a regular,
Fine, I'll say 86. C. I don't really like this that much.
Yeah, or do we do the number? I said it's 86. Got to give him 86.
No, I'm not doing that.
What level C
in the 70s? I'm thinking in the 70s.
Okay.
So whenever I said C+, I was thinking 70s, even though C+, back when I went to school, were actually like 82. So probably C. Okay. I'm thinking like 78, 79.
Okay. I could dig it. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I can understand the thought process. I just think for you, man, you were hurt by that guard pick in round 1. You like, no, not I don't like Dotson. I got Dotson. I'm like,
and it seems like a little bit of a reach for Zion too. He was more of a second round pick.
Yeah, to an extent.
Fedarian Mathis, they're saying he's second round, so I'm fine with that. I don't like the 2 offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds. I think Tyquan Thornton might be a little bit of a reach too. I wouldn't mind getting him, but if we could get him in the 5th or 6th instead of the 4th,
I just don't know if he's going to last that long either because
it all's on that speed. Who knows?
Yeah, people love speed, man. They love speed. Whew, I like it though, man. But yeah, shout out to Jordan Reed, man. Quick reaction. So I think we got some supers we'll get into. And then
God bless him for doing full mock draft for all 7 rounds for every team.
Seriously, bro.
God bless
you. I was like, is it full 7? And I was
Gives a little paragraph for what
for the first 3 rounds, 3-4 rounds. I was like, bro, I got it. I felt compelled. I was like, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay they won't go 7 deep for everything like that. Not right like that. I was like,
Malik Willis 2, bold call.
That's bold. Bold.